sippers, we're back with another video, okay? But before we start this video, like, share, and subscribe right now. Today's video is more of a venting vlog with Kaysen's first birthday coming up fast, like it is next month. I think it was the perfect time to reflect on my first year being a mom and what obstacles I've been through, and also some advice I would give to first-time moms. So, what I've had the most difficulty adjusting to as a first-time mom is I was always the girl that was on the run. In high school, I was on 2 different cheer teams, I was in high honors, I was always busy working and things like that. I was always on the go. I would be one place and change my mind and want to go somewhere else and just pick up and go. And when you have a baby, that's no longer an option like that anymore, because you have to make sure you have Pampers, you have to make sure you have wipes, a change of clothes just in case, a bib, baby food, formula, water bottles, a bottle, the baby. Like, you have so much to pack before you even go outside. In the beginning, when Kaysen was first born, my diaper bag would be like 15 pounds on its own. I would have a pajama set for him, a pair of clothes, 100 Pampers, a whole pack of wipes. I would have a whole thing of formula, 4 or 5 water bottles, 2 baby bottles. I would have things for myself in there. I would have Band-Aid. I had every single thing, like as if the world ended right now, I'd be prepared. Like, it was ridiculous. And to this day, if you ever felt my diaper bag, it's still running about 10 pounds, and he's almost a year old. So it would make it a little bit more difficult to always be on the run. So I had to, like, not calm down, because I was never really like a girl who was like doing inappropriate things on the run, but like I would go to the beach, then I would go grab ices, I would go pick my friend up, we would go back to the beach, then you know what, let's go to the mall, let's go to the bar. I was always on the move, and I think having Kaysen slowed that down a lot. And the fact that I had Kaysen right before my 21st birthday, which is usually when people are like about to start bugging out, it was a little bit of a struggle, because my friends had just turned 21 and they were all like experiencing the club life and things like that, even though I've experienced that before 21. But it kind of made it a little bit more difficult, because I remember that I can't do as much as I used to do because I had a baby, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Another obstacle I had to get used to was being on the baby's time. So Kaysen was breastfed exclusively for his first 3 months. My plan was to go longer. I had gotten sick, and the medication that I was on, I could no longer breastfeed him, so I introduced formula to him. But Kaysen was not letting go of the boob at all, which this was another thing that was difficult for me. I was now doing all feedings at night by myself because he would want the boob. Now, even with his father waking up with me, it didn't really help, because I'm doing most of the work and he's just up watching. But like, I couldn't be mad, because it's not like he could breastfeed the baby. And at night, Kaysen was not a fan of pumped bottles. I could pump till I was high and dry, and at night he had to have mouth to boob. So that was kind of difficult. And as time goes on, though, he is getting a little bit better, but he does still wake up one time in the night. Now, Kaysen's schedule is usually his bedtime is 7:30, 8 o'clock. But sometimes I try to keep him up later, hoping, with my fingers crossed, that he would wake up later in the day, because Kaysen's wake up time is around 6:30. Now, if you are a mom, 6:30 to wake up every single day, and to stay up, because Kason is not really one for naps. I'm surprised I even got him down for a nap right now to do this video, but he's not one for naps. You have those babies that you just put in their crib in their playpen and you forget about them and come back 10 minutes later and they're sleeping. Kason is not that. He needs full-blown contact, rocking, laying next to, singing to, breastfeeding, whatever it is, to go to sleep. He's not a independent baby at all, unless when you don't want him to be independent, he's being independent. Another big obstacle that I've been going through lately is Kason is exploring more. He's walking, well, he's been walking since about 8 or 9 months. He's soon to be 11 months, July 31st. Does July have 31 days? Hold on. Before I be on here sounding crazy, let me check. Okay, yeah, so July has 31 days. So on July 31st, Kason will be 11 months, and he's been walking pretty stable. He wobbles and falls sometimes, but for the most part, he's really stable. So now he's all around the house. Kason's climbing on furniture. He pulls himself onto the couch. He pulls himself into the tub. Like, he's very, very, very active. And it went from me having this little petite baby that just needed me to hold him everywhere to now I'm like, Kason, where are you? And he's like 3 rooms away, doing whatever, pulling outlets, pulling plugs out the outlet, putting his finger in the outlet, in the cabinets, taking things out, going through my dresser drawers, taking my clothes out. Like, he is a busy baby, and I love it. I love that he's starting to explore the world for himself, but it does make life really hard when I'm trying to do something like study or cook or even take a shower and I have a baby trying to full-blown throw his body into the bathtub. But that's Kason. So I think those are my 3 biggest obstacles on my first year of being a mom. Now, for some advice, ladies, if you're planning on breastfeeding, my mistake was every time I breastfed Kason, I would breastfeed him to sleep. Now, sometimes, especially when they're first born, it's really hard to not breastfeed them to sleep, because as soon as they get the boob and they get a little drip of milk, they're like half asleep already. But I didn't really take it serious when the doctor would say, like, keep him up for both feedings and then keep him up a little bit after and like rock him to sleep or something like that. I would literally breastfeed Kason, because I had so much milk. I would breastfeed him all the way till he was knocked out. Because now that he's almost 1 year old, he still expects me to breastfeed him to sleep, and it's difficult. He has 2 teeth in the front. It's not really the most comfortable thing, and it's very time consuming sometimes, because sometimes I'm breastfeeding him on one side, he's almost asleep, then he changes his mind, then I switch him, he's almost asleep, then he changes his mind, then I'm wrestling him to lay down, and then I'm giving him a boob again to put him to sleep. So that's one advice I would give to moms. Really try to feed the baby and only feed the baby. Don't use it as a mechanism to put them to sleep. Another advice I would do is I would get the baby used to the crib. You guys do not understand the mistake it was having Kason sleep in my bed. Now, it was not my decision. It was his father's decision to have him in the bed, because when he was first born, his father did not want him out of his sight. And it started off, I was 1 night of him in my bed, and it's almost a year later. Kason has to sleep in my bed. If I put him in his crib, even after he falls asleep, he's waking up screaming like someone is trying to kill him, because he's so used to sleeping with mom and dad. Now, I love being able to just flip over and breastfeed him, because that was another reason why he ended up staying in the bed. It was way easier to breastfeed him back to sleep with him already in the bed, instead of taking him out the bassinet or taking him out the crib, breastfeeding him to sleep, and then putting him down with the chance of him waking up. So that was another reason why we kept him in the bed, but that was one of the biggest mistakes ever, because Kason always has to be in the bed. And as much as I love my baby, sometimes I just want my bed to like me and his father. Like, it's just so difficult, and to have baby feet in your back all night, it sounds so precious, but trust me, it's not. More advice is. What I did a lot when Kason was really small is I hand washed a lot of his clothes. One, that saved the clothes, because baby food and formula for the most part stain. They stain anything. I don't know why they make these baby foods and formulas for these babies when they stain the hell out of clothes. Just imagine what's happening to the insides. But I hand washed a lot of his clothes. As soon as he would go in for a bath, I would like put his clothes aside, and as soon as he would get out the bath and I would dress him, I would hand wash his clothes right there with baby detergent. That saved me a lot of money because none of his clothes were stained, to the point where even after he grew out of them, I was able to sell them because they were looking brand new. Most of them he didn't really wear because Kason had a lot of clothes. Kason's going on a year old, and I think I've only had to buy him clothes twice because that's how much stuff I got from my baby shower. So a lot of them weren't worn, but the ones that were worn were in perfect condition because I kept on washing them every time he would wear them. This is the obstacle I don't even know how I forgot to mention. Having a relationship with an infant is probably one of the hardest things ever. I feel like we do a pretty good job at it for the most part, but it's very difficult when now there's a baby that comes first. It's no longer you guys first, it's your baby first, and then it's like you guys, but then sometimes you put like your individual self before you guys because it's like you're so stressed or so tired from the baby or from work and then coming home to the baby and things like that. So that was an obstacle, like keeping my relationship alive at the same time as having an infant. Advice for me to you guys would really be communication. Without communication, you do not have anything. There were so many problems that we've had that were simple but turned into bigger problems because we didn't communicate. So once it was communicated and it was understood on both parties what the issue was, it was easily solved, instead of leaving it in the air and letting it build up, and then you guys are angry, not speaking for reasons you don't even understand, but one's mad, so it's like I'm gonna be mad too. So I would really communicate, and I would try, if it's really difficult for you guys to do this, at least once a month make a day where it's strictly for you guys, where baby is with an Theo or a Titi or a grandma, someone that you feel comfortable with, and you and your spouse go out and make sure that that relationship that started that baby stays strong and alive, because that's the only way you guys are going to make it through parenthood together. I mean, co-parenting and stuff is like perfectly fine, because I rather people co-parent than be unhappy together in front of the baby. But sometimes when you're younger, you tend to go back more often, and you tend to eat stuff you wouldn't eat maybe if you were more mature and more experienced in life. But I think as long as you guys communicate through your problems, it won't turn into such a big deal. And communicating early on in the situation, like as if something happened this morning that you didn't like, a conversation should be had by tonight, because if you let it sit on your mind till tomorrow, the day after that, you may make it into a bigger mental problem in yourself than you think that it is. Like, but now you start to feel even more upset and even more angry because you let it sit, or because why didn't they realize that I'm mad, like, or why would they do that and think I wouldn't be mad. Like, talk about things as soon as you have the options. Talk about them so that these problems are solved and you guys are able to not only be together but be parents together, because that's like a really important thing in our generation. We need to keep these families together for the most part, because I feel like marriage and stuff in our generation is definitely declining, because we don't have these thoughts and morals that our parents have. Like, us females are like, you're doing too much, I'm out, and you guys are like, she's stressing me, I'm on to the next one. And that's definitely not the way to be, because like moving on from situations and stuff when you're not fully over it is gonna cause more stress to you, and you're gonna be freaking stalking Instagrams and stuff just to see what they're doing and who they're with now, when you guys could have just stayed strong. You have to stay mentally strong and communicate. That is my advice for anyone. And this is not even just for people who have kids together. For anyone that wants a successful relationship in this generation, communicate. Because if you don't communicate, it doesn't even make sense to be together. Like, you guys aren't going to trust each other. You're going to have 101 problems just because you couldn't communicate. Oh, another advice. So I don't know if many of you know, but Chris has an older son. Now, the thought of having a new baby bringing into the picture when his oldest son was like the baby to us for all this time before the baby was here, it was like difficult for both of us to grasp because we didn't know how he was going to take it. But from the first day the baby was born, we made sure that he knew, like, this is your brother, like, you guys are equally important, you guys equally mean the same, you guys will always be treated the same. But sometimes because he is smaller, it may seem like he gets more attention or someone cares about him more, but it's because he's smaller and you're older and you're more independent and you can go to the bathroom by yourself and you can go in the fridge by yourself, but he can't. So he's going to need more help from me and daddy to grow up, to get bigger. And then once he's bigger like you guys are going to be independent together and you guys won't need me and daddy much because you guys are going to be doing things on your own. So that's advice I have for people. Once again, relationships, whether it's boyfriend girlfriend, mom dad, stepmom stepson, son mom, whatever it is, daughter mom, stepdaughter, stepmom, stepfather, stepson, stepfather, stepdaughter, whatever the relationship is, communication will pretty much fix all of your problems. Especially when it's with a child, sometimes communication is even more important than with an adult, because most adults can know when they do something wrong, they just choose not to care. Some children do things not knowing that it's something bad or not knowing that it's something that they shouldn't do, or they feel a way not knowing why they feel that way, but they feel it because they don't completely understand what's going on in their environment. So as the adults around them, it's our responsibility to let them know, listen, you might be upset that you have a brother because he's crying and pooping and daddy's holding him all the time, and I'm no longer able to play fight because I'm recovering from birth and things like that. But they don't know all that. All they see is daddy's holding a new baby and Destiny can't play because she's crying in pain. Like, so sitting them down and explaining to them what's going on in an age appropriate way does help life and the transition from being a smaller family to a bigger family easier. I think that's pretty much it. I touched on most of the biggest obstacles and advice I had for my first year of motherhood. Let me know, comment, like, subscribe. Like my second year of motherhood, I'll have more advice for you guys, but this first year has literally been trial and error. I feel like any parent that's a first-time parent can relate to that. Everything is really trial and error when it comes to this parenthood stuff, and you just try not to make errors. You try to make the trial successful. So that's pretty much what I've done this last year. And I think it worked pretty good so far. I mean, he's alive and he's healthy. I'm alive, I'm healthy. So I'm pretty successful. But stay tuned. Yes, it's been a while since it's been a video again. I'm trying to become more consistent for you guys. But like I said, I'm a first-time mom. It's real difficult. I'm back in school. I don't really have a lot of time, but I'm trying. I'm waiting for life to really fully open so I can have more things to vlog. It's like annoying to keep vlogging in my house. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. Like, what are you guys doing here? We need subscribers, we need likes, we need shares. The shares would get the subscribers, and the subscribers would be appreciated by the likes. So please, let's go. Let's get to 50 subscribers because I have way more in store once life reopens. When will that be? God knows what. But we got a first birthday and we got a first family trip. So let's get it together and get this show on the road. Till next time.